Now, you guys probably saw this on YouTube. It was quite a big deal at the time. This whole diss track season. Now, this happened about a few weeks ago, up to a month ago now. It's basically come and gone. But nonetheless, I thought I'd weigh in on it, give my opinion. And I'm going to be honest, it's interesting. I'm not going to lie, it's very, very interesting. Like, I'm a big hip-hop guy. If you haven't seen my Eminem video that I did a few weeks ago, you wouldn't know that. But it's important to know that now for this video. And what that means is I've watched a lot, I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, and I know how diss tracks tend to go in like the proper hip hop scene. Obviously, of like Tupac's beef with Notorious B.I.G. There was Jay-Z and Nas. This year we have that friendly beef between Joyner Lucas and Tory Lanez, and there's all this stuff going on that I always listen to, and I'm always like clued up on it to some degree. So coming from that with all these like American rappers to listening to KSI versus Brothers, it's a very different, very negative, very interesting way of doing things. One thing that I know straight away is that the American way, if you listen to it, for example, if you listen to Ether, that's just him knocking Jay-Z down for ages. It's very much like, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm this, you're that, and it's more trying to get the point across that about how good you are, about how many albums you've sold, you know, how many tours you've sold out. In Ether, Nas talks a lot about how he thinks Jay-Z's ugly and how Eminem raps better on Jay-Z's song, and it's very much about the opponent. You know, you're very much separating yourself from them by building yourself up and by knocking them down, and it's a bit of the two. Whereas this whole YouTube thing is very much, let me get as much information as I can and just throwing so much shit at the other person, not really caring about how big you make yourself sound. I mean, some of them, like some of the diss tracks I've heard people put out, make them sound like bad guys as well. Like Deji, for example, saying how he'd have sex with Randolph's wife like a horse, and the whole Anne Frank reference, which I thought was a bit far, a bit too much. And it's interesting how that works. I remember, for example, when Jay-Z replied to Nas back in I think 2002 with Super Ugly, there was a bar where he said he used condoms in his wife's baby seat, and that was like, everyone hated him for that. That's when he crossed the line. People were like, wow, you can't say that, you can't bring girlfriends or relationships into it, that's kind of crossing the line. And even recently with Pusha T and Drake, when Drake mentioned Pusha's wife in Duppy, that's when Pusha's like, okay, you've crossed the line now, all bets are off. And that's when he like mentioned Drake's kid and all this in the follow-up video song, sorry. So, you know, when you have these YouTubers doing the exact same thing but on a obviously a lower level, it's funny what passes and what doesn't pass, and the things that people find funny, and the things that really piss people off. I could go into the whole Deji vs KSI thing and how like that has impacted YouTube, but I think that's quite sad. Like, I'm not happy about that at all. I didn't even listen to Deji's diss track towards KSI because I think it's silly. You really shouldn't be doing that with family, and that sort of stuff should be private to some degree. Like, I really hate how these YouTube diss tracks often seem to come from a place of, like, they always seem to surprise you know, the target. It's never talked about first and then they come out with a track. It's always like someone's upset you, so 2 days later, or not even 2 days, like 2 hours later, you put out a response. Like, just call each other, man. Just sort it out over the phone, go to each other's house, like whatever you gotta do, sort it out off air. I don't understand why everything's got to be monetized in this whole YouTube world, but that's obviously a big issue for another day. But yeah, like, how have you guys found the diss tracks? I know, like I said, it's come and gone, but what do you think about them? How do you think they compare to like A-list musicians releasing their own diss tracks, for example? And I don't know, what do you think works for you? For me, I would rather, like, if I was in a diss track battle with someone, I'm the type of guy where I want to build myself up, make myself seem like a big person, maybe take small jabs, but I would like my song to be a good one more than an offensive one. Like, something that Tupac did very well with Hit 'Em Up was, like, you might hear that song for the first time and think it's bad, but then you go to the club and that song's still playing. You can be driving down the street and hear someone playing it in their store, you go through the restaurants or whatever. That was such a good song, similar to Back to Back, was a song that would follow you everywhere. Like, that's you know, that's something that I like. But, you know, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Get at me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, and yeah, peace out.